Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, wherever you are watching us from. This is Dalsan English News Bulletin for Sunday, June 7, 2026. I am Mohamed. Saido. We begin tonight with a significant escalation in the nation's political crisis. Former President Mohamed Farmajo has issued an urgent, high-stake invitation to President Hassan Sheikh Mohamud for a direct meeting at his private residence tomorrow. This call for dialogue follows a joint appearance with former President Sharif Sheikh Ahmed, where both the leaders condemned recent security actions near their homes.
The political atmosphere in Mogadishu has hit a boiling point, with former President Mohamed Farmajo issuing an urgent, high-stakes call for dialogue. In a move that has sent ripples through the capital, Farmajo has invited current President Hassan Sheikh Mohamud to his private residence tomorrow to address the mounting crisis gripping the nation. This invitation was extended during a joint press appearance with former President Sharif Sheikh Ahmed, where both the leaders took a firm stance against what they describe as the administration's increasingly aggressive political maneuvers. The focus of the frustration centers on recent security actions taken near President Sharif's home, which Farmajo characterized as a dangerous and unacceptable escalation. He spoke with intensity, suggesting these actions not only threaten the safety of political figures, but also risk unraveling the fragile stability of the Somali state.
Hassan Sheikh Mohamud, Allah shaqaysan doorashadii way dhamaatay. Hadda waxa la galayaa waqti shaqo. Shaqada uu hayo madaxweynahana wuxuu u qabanaya ummadda Soomaaliyeed.
Drawing on his own tenor, Farmajo reminded the public of the collaborative spirit that once defined the transition of power. He recalled how he and Sharif previously united to dismantle extremist strongholds and facilitate a peaceful handover to President Hassan Sheikh. He framed this current invitation not merely as a political request, but as a necessary intervention to steer the country away from a path of deeper instability and division. While Farmajo expressed a clear preference for a direct meeting, he also signaled that he is open to mediation from respected national stakeholders should the president be unwilling to meet him personally. He issued a stark caution that individual political agendas must not come at the cost of the nation's fragile governance. As of this evening, there has been no official acknowledgement or response from Villa Somalia. For now, the city waits to see if this call for unity will bridge the divide or if the political impasse will only continue to deepen. Mohamed. Saido, Dalsan English.
Following the violence that gripped Mogadishu earlier this week, the Ministry of Health has released its first official casualty figures. Health facilities treated 55 people for injuries, while one person has been confirmed dead. As the city works to restore calm, the focus remains on the humanitarian impact and the displacement of families caught in the crossfire.
The Ministry of Health has released its preliminary casualty figures following the intense armed clashes that rocked Mogadishu between June 3rd and 4th. According to the official statement, health facilities across the capital treated 55 people for injuries sustained during the violence, while one person was confirmed dead. The ministry extended its deepest condolences to the family of the deceased and wished a speedy recovery to those still receiving care. Officials also publicly commended the medical staff and emergency responders who worked under extreme pressure to provide life-saving assistance during the two-day security crisis. The fighting, which erupted amid rising political tensions, affected several densely populated districts, including Haulwadag, Hodan, and Wardigley, against opposition-aligned groups, marking a significant escalation in the ongoing political dispute over the recent extension of the presidential mandate. In its statement, the Ministry of Health emphasized the importance of verifying information during emergencies urging media outlets and the public to exercise extra caution when sharing reports on fatalities and injuries. By prioritizing accuracy, the ministry hopes to prevent the spread of misinformation during these volatile times. While these official figures offer a clear window into the medical impact of the hostilities, the broader humanitarian toll continues to be assessed. Protection monitors have noted that thousands of families were displaced as the violence spilled into residential neighborhoods. As Mogadishu looks towards restoring calm, the focus remains on the urgent needs of the displaced and the potential for renewed political dialogue to address the underlying causes of this week's instability.
Meanwhile, in the southwest state, the presidential race is officially underway. The Independent National Electoral and Boundaries Commission has begun registering candidates, with political heavyweights including former President Sharif Hassan Sheikh Aden and current Speaker of the House of the People Sheikh Aden Mohamed receiving their certificates of candidacy yesterday in Baidoa.
The race for the leadership of Southwest State has officially kicked into high gear. Somalia's Independent National Electoral and Boundaries Commission has begun the formal registration of presidential candidates, marking a pivotal moment in the region's political future. Among the first to step forward are two heavyweights of Somali politics, former Southwest State President Sharif Hassan Sheikh Aden and the current Speaker of the House of the People of Somalia's Federal Parliament, Sheikh Aden Mohamed Nur Madobe. Both men received their certificates of candidacy from the Commission in Baidoa yesterday, signaling their intent to lead the regional administration. The entry of these two prominent figures underscores the high stakes of this election. For Sharif Hassan, this bid represents a significant return to the regional political stage. Once a vocal critic of the federal government's direction, his recent shift to support the government's push for a one-person, one-vote electoral system has signaled a notable change in his political alliance. Meanwhile, Speaker Aden Madobe brings the full weight of federal legislative experience to the contest. His participation is being closely watched, as it reflects the intersection of federal influence and regional governance. This election process follows the recent successful swearing-in of new Southwest State lawmakers and the establishment of the regional parliament's leadership. However, the path ahead is not without challenges. The atmosphere in the region remains charged, with ongoing debates regarding the electoral process, the degree of the federal involvement and the broader transition toward direct democracy across Somalia. As registration continues, the public and political observers alike are waiting to see which other candidates will emerge. For now, the focus remains on how these two seasoned leaders will navigate the complexity of Southwest politics as the region prepares to decide its next chapter.
In other developments, Somalia is taking a major step toward harnessing its natural resources. The Somali Petroleum Authority has deployed local engineers to join the Urad-1 exploratory drilling operation offshore. This mission is being closely watched as a test of the country's potential to integrate local expertise into its emerging energy sector.
The Somali Petroleum Authority has officially announced a significant step in the nation's energy sector, confirming that a team of local engineers is being deployed to join the Urad-1's exploratory drilling operation. This mission, currently underway off the coast of Somalia, marks a pivotal moment in the country's push to harness its offshore natural resources. According to officials, these Somali professionals will work alongside international technical experts to oversee the drilling process, ensuring local oversight and hands-on capacity building. The Urad-1 project is seen by the government as a critical litmus test for Somalia's offshore potential, following years of geological surveys and seismic data collection that have pointed to promising hydrocarbon reserves in the region. For the Somali energy sector, this move is about more than just extraction. It is a strategic effort to integrate local expertise into the highly specialized world of deep-sea oil exploration. Authorities confirmed that the engineers were selected based on their technical backgrounds and are expected to play a central role in gathering data that will maintain the commercial viability of the site. The deployment comes at a time when Somalia is looking to diversify its economy and attract international investment. If the Urad-1 mission yields successful results, it could fundamentally alter the nation's economic landscape, providing a much-needed boost to national infrastructure and long-term development. For years, the prospect of offshore oil has been a topic of intense public discussion and high expectation. While stakeholders caution that exploratory drilling is a long and complex process, the sight of Somali engineers on the front lines of the operation signals a new chapter, one where local talent is actively shaping the future of the nation's natural wealth.
Finally, we turn to the Horn of Africa, where the Djibouti National Defense Forces have marked 49 years of service. Beyond their internal duties, the forces continues to be a pillar of regional stability, with troops currently supporting peace efforts on the ground in Beledweyne and across the continent.
The Djibouti National Defense Forces have officially marked 49 years of dedicated service to their nation. The milestone celebrations took place yesterday, June 6, honoring nearly 5 decades of commitment that began just 3 weeks before the country achieved independence from France on June 27, 1977. While the primary ceremonies were held in Djibouti, the spirit of the anniversary reached far beyond its borders. In Beledweyne, Somalia, troops serving under the African Union Mission, locally known as Hilwalal, marked the occasion on the ground, highlighting the deep, enduring security partnership between the two nations. Though the Djibouti military is among the smallest in the Horn of Africa, with approximately 10,000 to 12,000 active personnel, it remains a pillar of regional stability. Its strategic location at the crossroad of the Red Sea, the Gulf of Aden, and the Bab el-Mandeb Strait makes the force vital for global maritime security. The nation's armed forces, which include the Army, Navy, Air Force, and Gendarmerie, are not only focused on internal security and border control, but are also major contributors to regional peacekeeping. Beyond their critical deployment in Somalia, Djiboutian forces play active roles in United Nations missions across the Central African Republic and the Democratic Republic of Congo. Supported by long-standing defense partnerships with France and the United States, which operates the key regional base at Camp Lemonia, Djibouti continues to punch above its weight. As the armed forces approach their Golden Jubilee next year, they stand as a cornerstone of national sovereignty and a reliable partner in the ongoing effort to maintain peace and security across the Horn of Africa.
That's it from our news desk tonight. Thank you for choosing Dalsan English for your news. I am Mohamed Saido. Join us again for our next bulletin. Until then, have a good evening.